Ricky Glaser here, welcome back to another video. I got the beautiful Spiteri with us, and we're gonna teach you 5 skateboard tricks you can learn before ollieing that you can do in one day.
Let's get to it. First trick we're gonna do is the Body Varial.
So with the Body Varial, what we are doing is jumping up into the air, turning our body, jumping back down, and landing on the board and riding away. There's a few different ways we can build up to this trick so we can make sure we can do it safely. But pretty much if you can stand or if you can jump and ride around comfortably, you can do this trick. Good thing to first do before actually attempting this trick is to just have your board stationary and you are standing on the ground. And then all you have to do is just jump up onto the board. And I know that can seem kind of daunting. You could roll around, you could land on the tail. You gotta try to not focus on those things. If you want to do it even simpler, put the board on some grass. So if you do happen to fall down, it's not gonna be so bad and the board is not gonna be able to roll. But all you have to do is just jump on in. Now that we got that first step down, the next step is to begin starting on the board. Again, it's important to not be going on the tails because that maybe will mess up your balance or make you slip out. But if we're standing in this safe zone between these bolts, now what we're gonna do is try to jump up and land back on the board. So we can just do a really little one to start. Boom, nice little jump. Then we can try to jump a little bit higher. We are one step closer to doing a Body Varial. So we are gonna add in the rotating element to our practice steps, and then we are gonna take it to the real board. So now what we're gonna do, I ride regular, but maybe you ride goofy, and what that means is I have my left foot forward. Maybe you ride with your right foot forward. Whatever way is comfortable for you, but we're gonna be turning, we call it front side in skateboarding. So we're turning this way for regular, and if we're goofy, we're turning this way. So what I want you to do now is just away from the board, just on the flat ground, try to jump up, turn all the way, and then land. If you jump up and turn part the way and get around, not gonna work. We gotta turn all the way around and land, and really try to imagine there's a skateboard there and we're landing in the right spot. All right, now we're ready for the real deal. We're gonna do it on the board. Stationary is always the best place to start. When you're rolling, it adds an extra element, so it's always best to learn tricks stationary first. So we're in the safe zone here. We'll practice our jump. We know exactly what to do, and we're just gonna let it rip. Boom. If your first feet, you go like this, step off, it's okay. Just get your balance, always bend your knees, but that's the frontside Body Varial right there. Boom. So you wanna make sure you stay away from the kicks, otherwise maybe this kind of thing will happen, and that's terrifying. You wanna try not to land on the kicks too, because maybe this will happen. And we don't wanna do any of those things. We wanna stay safe, and we wanna land frontside Body Varial today, and I know that you can do it.
So once you're pretty comfortable doing this Body Varial in a stationary position, you can add some speed and try it while moving. So I'd say for starters, just have a little bit of speed. If you're rolling just this much, that's totally okay. Then when you're comfortable with the low speed, you can try going just a bit faster. Woo!
So we conquered the Body Varial. Now we're on to trick number 2, which is a caveman. Now caveman, it has a few different meanings, but typically what it means is you are on your feet, you're running along, and then in a manner, you get on your board and you ride. So I'm gonna teach you the very most basic, easiest one that you can learn right now, but there's a few different ways to do variations of this. I'm assuming that you are pushing with your back foot. If you are pushing with your front foot, this may be a little bit more difficult, and I would recommend learning to push with your back foot, but we can talk about that another time. What we're doing when we're doing a caveman, we're running along, walking along, then we wanna have our board in our front-facing hand. So I'm regular, so this is my front-facing hand, like this. So we're gonna have the board here, and we wanna have it to this side. So we have it in our front hand, we're gonna bring our foot here, then all we're gonna do is put the board down and put our foot on, and look, we're in our familiar position of pushing now, and then we push. So if we do it a little bit faster, it looks like this. Boom. That is honestly all there is to it. So really, it is just putting your foot down like that. And when you get a little bit more advanced, you can kind of do it all in one motion, and you can run very, very fast and get speed very quickly. But to begin, all we have to do is this.
All right, trick number 3 is the first trick I ever learned, my personal favorite, the popcorn. Woo! So the gist of this trick is that we are starting with the board upside down, and you're using your toes underneath the board to flip it over and land on top. So if you want to try that a few times, just get used to flicking it. Boom. Boom. And then you get both of your feet under it. I like to have my toes somewhere kind of around here, and I just jump upwards while I flick and land right on top. Sometimes it helps to hold on to something with this, because when you're first doing it, something that can go wrong is to not flip it enough or to go too far and come over it. So there's a nice medium ground, and it helps to hold on to something if you want to feel comfortable and confident while you're learning this. Also, PSA, for every single trick you ever do on a skateboard, bend your knees. You don't want to land straight leg. That's how you wash out. Just boom. Your knees are your friends.
We have made it to trick number 4, a very exciting trick. Popcorn's beautiful sister. It is called exiting Primo. So what is a Primo? Basically, a Primo is when the board is on the side. We call it on the rail, on the side. It can be either way, this way or this way. You gotta make sure that you have the right size trucks for your board. If they are the wrong size, it will not be able to stand clean like this. So I'm assuming you got the right ones and we're ready to rock it. So there's 2 steps to this one. Basically, one, we want to be able to stand on the board, which is a little bit of a thing of itself. And then once we are standing on it, we're going to do kind of like a popcorn type trick and land back onto the board. So let's first talk about standing on the board. It's very important to be very extra careful. Maybe you got a friend to help you spot, but you want to have some way to get up, and then you can understand where your balance point is, because if you lean too far this way, you're going to fall. If you lean too far this way, you're going to fall. You put your foot here, you're going to fall as well. So it becomes a little bit more sketchy than just standing on the normal board, because you have all these other axes. So you want to try to stand as comfortably as you can, have your knees bent. Now the trick that we're going to teach today is you want to have this side of the truck facing forward. So this is the easiest way for us to continue this motion. So when we're standing on the board, basically all we want to do is lean a little bit forward, rock our feet forward just like this, and then we're going to land back on it. So we can practice something like this, and then when we feel ready, when we feel comfortable, we say, I will land on the board, everything is going to be okay. Boom. We land a yes. New trick. 4 new tricks today. Let's go. I'm feeling good.
The 5th and final trick we have for you today is the Fakie Revert.
So with a Fakie Revert, basically what that means is I ride regular, so I have my left foot forward, and we are riding like this. When we're going fakie, it means we're going this way. We're standing pretty similar, but we're going backwards. Now, this trick is very similar to a kick turn on a ramp. When you use the ramp, you never end up going backwards because you're going up forwards and down forwards. But for us on the flat ground, we begin backwards, then we turn, and then we land forwards. When you're rolling backwards, it should be quite a familiar feeling to rolling forwards because our feet is on the tail, but we just got to think about, oh, we're actually going backwards. How is this going to affect my skating? One important thing you want to know before doing this trick is the relationship with the kick tail. So you can do a little tic-tac action, and what's happening there is your foot is on the tail, and it has got the power to lift up the board. So I would recommend trying to do a few of these first to understand the relationship. With these, you want to act swiftly. You don't want to dawdle around, because when you're like this, whoa, you might slam like that. So you want to act very swiftly. Practice a few of these first, and this is going to help you out. Now that we've understand the relationship with the kick tail, we got to think about how we're going to actually turn our body around. We did good on the body varial with turning around, but this time we're going to bring the board with us. So what we really need to summon is all our energy from our shoulders. Basically where our head and shoulders go is where the board is going to go. So when we're loading up to do this trick, we want to really turn our body, turn our shoulders, and then begin the trick. Before we do it rolling, we can just try it stationary. We're loading up all our body weight. Then what we're going to do is gently put a little bit of weight onto the back. So what I said before is we want to understand the relationship, but we're not going to go all the way like this and turn like this. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to lift the board up ever so slightly and then use our momentum to turn us around. So it's going to look like this.
So when you put it all together, that body motion, that lift, it's gonna look like this. You see, I've already turned my body, so as soon as I lift, it's ready to come around. My body is here, ready, boom. There it is. So I think a big key is looking over this shoulder because you want to be going this way. And as soon as I put that little bit of pressure onto my tail, my nose wants to come around and follow the direction my shoulders are going. So when you're first starting this, especially if you're just getting used to doing kick turns, it's okay if you don't get that full 180 in one motion. If you need to do, you know, 2 turns to get it around, that's okay too. And sometimes you just need to kind of try a few times, and as you get comfortable doing this, you can eventually get it all the way in one.
All right, well, congratulations on those 5 amazing tricks. I'm so hyped that you did it. Hey, maybe you learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's amazing. You know, you're out there trying. Maybe you watch this video, you come back in a week, you watch this video again, you finish out the rest of the tricks. So you're doing an awesome job. Keep skating, keep shredding. Now, I want you to let me know in the comments what tutorials you want to see from me. I'm thinking Ollie, I'm thinking shove, I'm thinking a whole lot of cool tricks later on. Thank you to the beautiful Janice Spiteri. You can check her out on Instagram, TikTok. Those links are in the description below. I like skate, and we'll see you next time.